Let me confirm that there's nothing I discuss in this channel that is not related to the 2017 general elections. Okay? Anything that has a date stamp before the August 8th, 2017 will have something to do with the upcoming general elections. Now, oaths, blood oaths, have been taken before in this country. Blood oaths are something which are very dangerous. Yeah, they're actually blood covenants. You can even see them in the Holy Bible, those who read the Bible. They're available, they work, they happen. And I'm afraid they affect our politics very much. In fact, currently, we are suffering a lot as a result of some oaths which were taken. Okay? But for this particular recording, I just want to draw your attention back to the presidency of Mwai Kibaki. Now, during the Kenyatta days, an oath was taken that the presidency would never cross the River Chania. The River Chania is now into Nyeri. It divides the Nyeri Kikuyus on the other side of River Chania and the Kiambu Kikuyus on this other side of River Chania. Okay? Now that oath was taken. This was, of course, after another very serious oath was taken, which is affecting us up to this day politically. If you look at my previous recording, you will get details on that. I don't want to repeat myself. But how did Mwai Kibaki become president and yet there was an oath, if really oaths work? Okay, picture this, or rather remember this. Months before the general elections, when it was clear that the opposition had united and they were a formidable force against KANU, and it looked very likely that they were going to win the general elections, then presidential candidate Mwai Kibaki, while coming back from a campaign stint in the Ukambani area, had a very serious road accident at the junction of the Machakos Road, Machakos-Mombasa Road. Yeah, it was very serious. In fact, some experts say had it not been for the airbag, the car actually had an airbag in the back seat. Had it not been for the airbag, he would not have survived that one. Very serious road accident. He was hospitalized and had to be flown over to the UK for treatment. He still won those elections and became president of Kenya. Now, something else very interesting happened shortly after he was made president of Kenya, which many people did not notice, yeah, but it was very significant. After Mwai Kibaki was sworn in fact, a day after he was sworn in, he ordered the motorcade, the presidential motorcade, to be driven past Thika, yeah? Actually, you have to drive past Thika to cross the Chania River. So the motorcade drove past the Chania River. At Del Monte, the president stopped. He bought some juice at the famous Del Monte factory, or rather the Del Monte establishment. And then the motorcade drove back to Nairobi. Now, something very interesting happened shortly after that. Shortly after that, the president fell so seriously sick that for the first time in history, the president of the Republic of Kenya was admitted to a hospital. Yeah, he was actually admitted at Nairobi Hospital. There were so many problems with the Kibaki presidency. Kibaki himself, I believe, had very good intentions for this country. I believe Mwai Kibaki would have changed the face of Kenya forever. But so many things went wrong. Nothing actually went right for Mr. Kibaki, Bwana Kibaki. Yeah, you remember there was a very serious aircraft accident that involved a big chunk of his cabinet, almost half his cabinet. Yeah, they were coming back from a celebration, a homecoming celebration for then Vice President Mudi Awori, and there was the aircraft accident was so serious that people like Martha Karua were, it was, people didn't know if she was going to survive. Others, like Kimani Mohoro's wife, remained in coma for a very long time. Okay? It was serious. Then, of course, the highlight of the Kibaki presidency was the 2007-2008 clashes that cost so many Kenyan lives. Okay? Now, I'm not asking you to be superstitious, but blood covenants are serious business. Very serious. Okay? And Mwai Kibaki was affected by a blood covenant. Okay, so maybe historians, because I've been a very harsh critic of Mwai Kibaki in this channel, as you all know, but recently my attention was drawn to the spiritual side of things. Yeah, now I'm not superstitious, but neither am I a fool. So I've taken all this information into consideration to make this recording. So you draw your own conclusions. I've given you the facts. I've given you what happened. You draw your own conclusions from this. But one needs to be very careful about what blood covenants are all about and how they affect a nation. I'd advise you to go back to the recording that I did a short while ago about a very, very serious blood covenant that was taken over this country, and one that needs to be reversed. Yeah. Anyway, that's a long story. Just go back to the recording I did, take it in, and maybe let me have your views, because people have different views. Of course, you don't always have to agree with me. I don't expect you to agree with me. If you're in the kind of business I'm in, you don't expect people to agree with you. I mean, the truth is that human beings with open minds and in an open discussion are not expected to agree. Yeah, I mean, you don't even agree with your own wife all the time. Yeah, so how are you expected to agree with everybody in public? So I expect those, but what I expect are proper, constructive criticism, constructive points. Yeah, to discount what I've laid out. Okay, this is Chris Kumekucha. Until next time.